Modal Magic, mastering modal verbs for permission in English. Hello language learners. Welcome back to our Grammar Fundamentals series. Today, we're diving into an essential component of English grammar, modal verbs. Specifically, we'll be focusing on modal verbs for permission in various tenses. This topic can be tricky, but don't worry, we've got you covered with some examples and exercises to help you get a firm grip on it. Modal verbs are special verbs that we use to show possibility, ability, permission, and obligation. When it comes to permission, the modal verbs we often use are can, could, and may. For example, you might say, "Can I leave early today?" Or, "Could I borrow your pen?" Or, "May I have a glass of water?" These sentences are all asking for permission in different ways. Notice how the verb changes the tone of the request. But more on that later. For now, remember, can, could, and may are our key modal verbs for asking permission. Understanding how to use these verbs in different tenses is key. Let's look at past, present, and future tenses. Present tense. We typically use can or may to ask for permission in the present. Example, "Can I use your phone?" Or, "May I join you?" Past tense. Could is often used for past permission, though it's less common because we don't often need to discuss past permissions. Example, "Could I use your phone earlier?" Future tense. For future permission, we usually use could or may. Example, "Could I use your office tomorrow?" Or, "May I come in early next week?" Remember, although may is grammatically correct and formal, it's less commonly used in everyday conversation. Most people prefer can or could. Now let's practice. I'll give you a situation, and you think about how you'd ask for permission using a modal verb. 1. You want to borrow a book from a friend. Present. 2. You wanted to take a break during yesterday's meeting. Past. 3. You need to take a day off next week. Future. Try to formulate your sentences. Done? Here's how you could have asked. 1. Can I borrow your book? 2. Could I take a break during the meeting? 3. Could I take a day off next week? Remember, there isn't one right way to ask these questions. You could also say, "May I borrow your book?" Or, "May I take a day off next week?" depending on the formality and the context. Well, that wraps up our discussion on modal verbs for permission. Hopefully, you're feeling more confident about using can, could, and may to ask for permission in English. Don't forget to practice. The more you use these modal verbs in context, the more natural they'll feel. Happy learning, and we'll see you in our next video, where we continue exploring the world of English grammar.